Am I the a-hole for dropping my dad from my life and refusing to meet him again? So, let's start by saying this. My parents got divorced when I was only a few months old, so I never knew a time where my parents were together. It's always been my mom's side and my dad's side. As a kid, I didn't see the separations between each side of my family. The custody agreement said my dad gets me every other weekend, and my mom the rest of the time. So, mom has primary custody. I love the time I spent with my dad. Or, at least that's how my kid brain saw it. See, as a kid, I didn't notice many things around me. I was stuck in my sketchbook or my head most times, oblivious to my surroundings. My dad would have me sometimes, and he would play with me every now and then. Things seemed great until he got remarried when I was around 8 or so. The woman, let's call her stepmom, was great in the beginning. Would dress me up and do girly things with me, until she got pregnant. Once my brother was born, she changed. Yelled at me for the smallest things, cursing me out and calling me vile names I didn't understand. And my dad? He would try to calm her down once. She would yell at him, and he'd leave, to let her keep screaming at me while I'm cornered in my tiny room. My brother gets older, and his side of our shared room grows significantly. My bed is replaced with an air mattress, while he gets a full play loft and shelves lining every wall with toys and books and plushies. My closet gets overrun with baby clothes, and my things are put on the floor to get trampled on. My shelves are taken down, and I get only 3 small shelves for my bedding stuff, which I had to put on the mattress myself, my pillow, 1 stuffed animal, and 3 toys. I got a single tiny corner. And yes, I am only there every other weekend, but being there and seeing everything based around my brother without even a single picture of me anywhere hurts now that I'm looking back on it. Because I didn't really notice the changes as a kid due to being focused on other things. I'd go out of the house more and more because I didn't want to stay in there while SM was home. And even when she wasn't home, my dad was drunk and passed out on the couch. I'd take my bike with no phone or contact info and just ride off talking to and playing with random people. As long as I was back before dark, my dad didn't give a damn what I did, where I went, or who I talked to. And of course, when my bike's brakes broke, he didn't fix them. Just kept letting me take my bike out. He'd let me use tools to build something in the neighbor's little patch of trees, saws, knives, hammers, hedge cutters, whatever I could get my hands on, as long as I brought them back. Didn't even bother to check if I got hurt or not, or even consider tetanus. Eventually, I got to my reading phase, where I'd hunker down and read all day. And this got me in more trouble, since apparently SM doesn't like me being in the house when she's there. Probably because she's always with my brother, and I'm not allowed to look at him without being screamed at. Either way, I was just chilling, reading my favorite series, Wings of Fire, dope series BTW. Adored it so much. When she comes in, yanks the book out of my hand, starts yelling and pacing about things I can't remember, throws my book at me, then drags me outside and locks the door. That's an issue, right? Wrong. I try to go back in, sobbing, and my dad told me through the door to deal with it and just go play like I used to. Now, I'm not using this as an excuse, but I'm just reiterating that I'm autistic. And I was a child. Autism causes a disturbance in learning capabilities and makes it more difficult for us to understand things. Or at least it's how it was and still is for me. I don't understand normal emotions due to feeling them differently, or some emotions I can't feel at all, as well as having a large learning disability. So, as a child, seeing them reacting this way and not understanding why they're mad at me, while also not being able to understand any explanation about their emotional states that my neighbor tries to tell me about? Well, let's just say I tried to avoid the house again. You may be wondering why I haven't told my mom about this, right? I was a child. I thought this was normal and that there was nothing to tell her. My life at my mom's house was fantastic. Or it was in my eyes. However, life after my stepdad joined and my siblings were born? Not too great. My mom, bless her, is a saint in my eyes. My stepdad, however, is a workaholic who doesn't understand how to deal with kids. He can get loud and is rather rough. Doesn't know how to solve situations whatsoever. So, while the two of them are completely different, in my eyes, I saw my SD as another version of my SM, which isn't good. Let's get to this next piece. I'm with my dad, SM, and brother, heading to a Christmas party around 2015 or so. I'm getting screamed at by SM for leaving an empty carton of milk in the fridge. Now, I have an app on my phone called Voice Memos. I used it mainly for singing and playing back my recordings to help improve my singing. However, this app may have saved me. I pressed record on it while my SM was screaming, and my dad was doing nothing to calm her down or help. Kept my phone under my leg, so they couldn't see it, then sent the recording to my mom. Of course, when we got to the house for the party, I stayed in the car because I was crying, and SM didn't want her family seeing me like that. My mom got the recording, came and picked me up, and from then on during my dad's weekends, I stayed at my grandparents' house. My dad's parents. He had every opportunity to come see me. But did he? Nope. He always made excuses like, SM needs me to wash the dishes. SM and I are going to dinner. SM needs me to fold laundry. I'm spending time with brother. This went on for a few years until I turned 18 and decided not to see him anymore, but I still kept contact. Until I turned 20 a few years ago. I came out as bisexual to my dad. He went off about me being broken, and I blocked him. Haven't talked to him since. And I'm remembering more and more ways he's screwed up in my life, which includes driving while drunk with me in the car, giving me a pocket knife and empty plastic bottle to keep me distracted while he talked to a police officer, making me wear clothes that were too small while buying my brother clothes every week. You get the gist. And I learned from my mom recently that my aunt saw him at the mall where she worked sometimes, with me of course, because he took me to movies quite a bit, which I loved. But my aunt saw him using me and the fact I was autistic while faking that he's a single dad in order to pick up chicks, while married, and making me eat only out of a green mixing bowl in the corner of the counter that only ever held candy and saltines, as well as any scraps from their dinners. I got in contact with my brother a while ago because I've always been worried about him living in that house. These are the words he said to me. The abuse was not physical because I was there. 2. Don't be a pussy and say it was emotional. Because you can't handle being corrected. And don't blame it on being autistic and bipolar. I'm not bipolar, and I never claimed to be. However, my dad and brother are. He was very young and wasn't there for all of it, so honestly, I don't understand what to do here. I hurt my back 3 years ago and, of course, no one but my mom's side of the family cared. I'm still in physical therapy and going to pain clinics because I walked around and worked while my back was broken for 3 years, until we found out why my back hurts so much. Yes, my back was broken for 3 years. A pars fracture on my L5 and S1, as well as a bulged disc between L4 and L5. Got a fusion done Christmas of 2024, but my nerves are still damaged from the time spent working while my back was shot. And even while I was in the hospital, only my mom showed up.
Shocker, right?
So now that you have the full story, let's get to why I'm making this post. My dad's side of the family is holding a get-together in a few days, and I'm refusing to go because my dad, SM, and brother will be there. The whole side of the family are cursing me out and yelling at me that I'm being petty and that I can get over it. But I think I'm justified. Yet it still hurts to hear, and I need some advice here. Am I the a-hole?